My girl can rewind time, but every time she does, she loses a day of her life. She thought I was totally in the dark about it. So, to save her childhood friend, she hit rewind 999 times, even taking my life 99 times. But by the 1000th reset, I just couldn't handle it anymore. I said, Jess, enough. I get it, it's super handy, but I can't keep eating instant noodles for breakfast. And there's never even a single packet of seasoning left. No way even a dog would touch it. I was staring at the spotless bowl of plain noodles on the table in front of me. Meanwhile, Jess was in the kitchen, making lunch for her childhood buddy Sam. I sighed and said, "Looks like we're back to yesterday again." This was déjà vu for the 1000th time, almost 3 years of looping the same day. All of this because Jess wanted to save Sam, who was destined to die in an accident tonight. Jess had this crazy power to reverse time, something normal folks couldn't wrap their heads around. She'd tried 999 times, but still couldn't save Sam. Many times, she even lost her own life. But no matter what, even if it was just for a fleeting moment before she died, she could flip back to the previous day. At first, I tried to stop her without her noticing because I had no clue what would happen otherwise. Luckily, her actions varied a bit each time, so I could try different approaches without her catching on that it was me behind it. I argued, pretended to be sick, even called the cops, but nothing could keep her from going all out to save her friend. The worst part was when my attempts to intervene got too intense. She'd stab me to death with a fruit knife, leaving me to bleed out. For days after, she found dealing with me too much hassle, so she'd just kill me right after rewinding time and carry on with her day. In total, she'd offed me 99 times. She wasn't hesitant to kill me because she knew I'd come back to life with each reset. What she didn't realize was that while everyone else lost their memories when time rewound, mine stayed intact. Because of that, I never dared to show myself. Who knew she'd keep killing me if she found out? Every time before Sam died, Jess would hold him and say the same thing 999 times. "Sam, don't stress. Even if you die, I'll totally save you." Then the endless time rewind would kick in. For 3 years, I watched their deep bond unfold. They seemed like real sweethearts, and I was just stuck watching their love story. I was exhausted. I wanted a fresh start, not to relive the same day over and over. My love for Jess had gradually faded with each rewind. So today, I decided to make a move. After Jess finished making lunch, she packed it up and came to the living room, saying the same thing I'd heard a million times. "I've got something important tonight. I won't be back. Take care of yourself." After that, she was about to leave. When she bumped into the water dispenser, she knocked over a glass. Before she could react, I threw a cushion from the sofa, catching the glass so it didn't shatter. She looked at me, totally surprised. I stayed silent, got up, grabbed the car keys from the TV cabinet, and snatched an umbrella from the balcony, handing them to Jess. She looked confused. "What's this?" Before she could finish, I chimed in with a grin. "Aren't you going to drive later? It's supposed to rain, so grab the umbrella." Her expression got all complicated. She seemed like she wanted to say something, but ended up just saying, "I'll try to get back early tonight and cook you a nice meal." I nodded. Actually, I hadn't checked the weather forecast. She had a great memory and never forgot anything. In the 999 rewinds, she always remembered to grab the umbrella and keys, but this time, I handed them to her beforehand, and she didn't notice anything weird. She was always thinking about Sam. Maybe our relationship was doomed from the start. 5 years ago, she used time rewind to save my life. That day, a few of my college buddies and I decided to go swimming in the river. Halfway through, a sudden flood hit, and I got a cramp in my leg. My friends were too far away to help. In my moment of panic, Jess showed up, jumping in from the shore. Unfortunately, it was too late as I was about to be swept away. I heard her faint voice, "Don't freak out. I'll save you." At the time, I thought she was just trying to comfort me, keep me from giving up, but I was too tired. Unexpectedly, when I opened my eyes again, I was back at the moment when my friends and I were just leaving the school gate. Still confused, I thought it was all a dream until a figure suddenly blocked my view. It was Jess, hands on her hips, looking super annoyed, saying, "You're not allowed to go swimming today. It's really dangerous." I was completely shocked. My friends didn't know her either, and we had a huge argument, accusing her of sticking her nose where it didn't belong. Even though my mind was still trying to process it, my gut told me she had saved me. So I canceled the swim trip and promised to treat my friends to a meal next time, and they didn't blame me. That evening, the news reported a sudden flood, and the river had risen over a meter. That's when I realized it wasn't a dream. Jess really could rewind time. Jess and I went to the same university. That night, I found her and thanked her. She patted my shoulder with a smile. "I told you I'd save you, and I meant it." I got what she was saying, only she thought I didn't know. Gradually, I fell for her and started chasing her. Everything went smoothly, and we ended up together. Since she had saved me and was now my girlfriend, I treated her with all my heart. I was set on being with her forever. Unfortunately, Sam's presence ruined that happiness. Even though they were close and sometimes a bit too touchy, I trusted her. But when Sam died in a car crash that night, a rift formed between us, with countless time rewinds. That gap just kept getting bigger. Until today, we were always seen as the perfect couple, even though it had only been a day. We had actually lived through 999 days together. Those 999 days, because of Sam, I was yelled at, dumped, and even killed by her. My heart had long stopped beating in this endless loop. I checked the time. There were still a few hours left. I finished my bread and milk. After eating this meal 999 times, it had lost its flavor. Afterward, I habitually tidied up the house. Then I packed all my stuff, leaving only a photo frame of me and Jess. It was taken on our 3rd anniversary. She was holding me, her head resting on my shoulder, smiling happily. I remember her saying that day, "With me here, you'll always be safe. No danger will come your way." I joked, "What if you're the one bringing the danger?" She half joked, "I can rewind time. I can fix any mistake. I saved you once. I can save you for a lifetime." I hugged her with a smile. "Okay, I'll protect you forever so you can save me for a lifetime." Looking back, the promises made during the honeymoon phase weren't meant to last when she kept stabbing me to save Sam. I knew our relationship was over. Maybe her ability could let her fix any mistake she made, but that was for others. If I were just a regular person, clueless, maybe I'd still love her now. But I'm thankful, otherwise, I'd have been stuck in the dark my whole life. I took the photo out of the frame and tore it in half, putting her half back. I erased the last trace of myself in this home. Finally, I lay on the sofa, savoring the last bit of the home Jess sent with her. I didn't want to fall into the endless loop again. This time, I wanted to help Jess. She had saved me once. I would help her save her childhood friend once to repay her kindness. At the same time, it would free me. 3 hours later, I grabbed my suitcase and headed to the garage. I drove to Sam's company building. Jess was pacing back and forth at the entrance, looking super anxious. Sam's phone would be off today, and no one could reach him. When Sam arrived at the company and got out of the car, it would explode immediately. A bomb was planted under the car. In the past 999 attempts, Jess had tried countless methods but could never reach Sam, so she never managed to save him. As soon as Sam died, Jess would rewind time again. If only Jess had thought things through more and investigated the situation thoroughly, she could have saved him. Maybe this is what they call being swept away by love. Seeing Jess at the entrance, unprepared, I knew that in a few hours, she would go back to noon today again. I parked my car and walked toward her. Seeing me, Jess was stunned. A hint of panic flashed across her face. Why are you here?" I handed her a jacket and said, "You forgot it's gonna rain today. It's gonna get cold. I brought you a jacket so you wouldn't catch a chill." She took the jacket, looking a bit guilty, and said, "Thanks." She probably didn't expect me to show up since she never told me where she was going, but she still didn't notice anything weird about my behavior. However, it didn't matter anymore. I looked at her and smiled. When did we become so distant? Saying thanks. She was stunned again, not saying a word. I didn't pay her any more attention and instead pulled a box out of the car. Seeing this, she frowned and asked, "What's that?" I shook my head. "Nothing, just something I'm delivering for a friend at this company." Her mind was still on Sam, so she didn't think much of it and just told me to go back. But I shook my head, checked my watch, and said, "I'll stay with you. You never know what might happen, right?" She looked at me, a hint of surprise in her eyes. But the next moment she said coldly, "I told you to go back. So go back." I didn't respond and just leaned against the building's wall behind me. "Crazy, stay if you want. If anything happens, don't expect me to save you." She yelled at me a few more times, but seeing no reaction from me, she gave up. After all, she could rewind time. As long as she found a way to save Sam, even if I died this time, she could just start over. She no longer cared about my life or death. The person who once said she'd save me for a lifetime ended up hurling insults at me and even trying to kill me. How could she care about one more accident? Before long, a few people Jess had called arrived, reporting to her. They were the ones she had tasked with investigating who was behind Sam's setup. Each time, she arranged for people to investigate from different angles, but with only one day and before anything happened, what could they find? Seeing the frown on Jess's face, I knew she had failed again, finding nothing. Not long after, it was 8 in the evening. A black sedan approached from a distance. It was the car Sam was in. Jess naturally saw the car too, and as soon as it stopped, she rushed over. "Sam, run, there's a bomb." Sam frowned as he got out of the car, not understanding yet. The driver, realizing someone was warning them, knew they might have been exposed. He immediately climbed from the driver's seat to the back, pulled out a gun, and took Sam and the company boss hostage. "Don't come any closer. If you do, I'll kill them." Jess immediately froze. The company's security and bodyguards, seeing their boss being held hostage, quickly surrounded the scene. Jess, looking at the hostage situation, shouted anxiously, "Don't hurt him. I can give you money, whatever you want." The hijacker driver sneered at Jess. "Anything?" Then he stripped down and said, "Let me see." Jess hesitated for a moment, but then started to undress. After all, she wasn't scared of social death. She could start over countless times as long as she found a way to save Sam. Everything else was trivial. This scene had played out countless times. Every time Jess took off her clothes, the hijacker driver would make her do even more outrageous things, and she complied each time. She seemed stuck in a dead end, convinced that only by doing this could she save Sam, never considering other methods. Going to such lengths for one person, I didn't know whether to admire her or despise her. Wanting to save someone isn't wrong. If it's truly for saving someone, I don't see anything wrong with rewinding time. But her way of saving was achieved by hurting me. She saved Sam 999 times and hurt me 999 times. If she had told me about this from the start, would I have let her watch a life slip away before her eyes? After all these times, I've come to realize that in her heart, I am indeed worthless. I opened the box and walked over to Jess, who was about to undress, and grabbed her arm. "You don't have to take them off?" Jess struggled but couldn't break free from my grip. She yelled, "What are you doing? If I don't take them off, Sam will die." I said calmly, "He won't die. The hijacker doesn't have the capability to kill him." My words infuriated the hijacker. He pulled out the remote control to detonate the bomb from his pocket with his other hand. "Damn it, let's see if I have the capability or not. There's a bomb under the car. Not only will they die, but everyone here will die too." Jess panicked and shouted, "No, I'll take them off." Jess tried to break free from my hand, but her strength couldn't match mine. She couldn't escape at all, so she used her other hand to slap me across the face. "Enough, let go." Half of my face burned with pain, but it was nothing compared to the ache in my heart. I sneered, "You're my girlfriend. Would I let you strip in public and let other guys see your body?" Jess pushed me, and only then did my hand loosen. She immediately said, "Then let's break up right now. I'm no longer your girlfriend. It's my body, and I can show it to whoever I want." Seeing her desperate face, I smiled. Fine, we broke up. Hearing my words, she froze. I ignored her and walked up to the hijacker, taunting him. If you blow up the bomb, you'll die too. Do you dare press it? See if I dare? The hijacker roared. Sam was also panicking. Jess, stop provoking him. If the bomb goes off, we'll all die. I ignored him and kept taunting. Useless scum, I don't believe you dare to press it. Pressing it means you'll die too. You're just putting on a show. The hijacker was completely enraged. He pressed the button on the remote control. Behind me, I heard Jess scream, "No." A breath later, the bomb didn't go off. The hijacker froze. Everyone present was also stunned. The hijacker was the first to react. Why didn't it explode? I smiled and said, "Don't you know about signal jammers?" Hearing this, Jess's face showed a hint of surprise, seemingly remembering the box I'd just taken out of the car. Now it was the hijacker's turn to panic. He grabbed Sam's neck and pressed the gun to his temple. I don't believe you can block bullets too. Anxious, Jess rushed out from behind me, but I grabbed her with one hand. She kept kicking, hitting, and cursing at me. Charlie, you bastard, let go of me. I need to save Sam. The next moment, a gunshot rang out. Jess froze. A figure slowly fell. But the one who fell was not Sam, but the hijacker. At that moment, I released Jess. She immediately rushed over and hugged Sam tightly. Sam, I finally saved you. In that instant, I also felt a sense of relief. A group of uniformed officers quickly surrounded us, and a man holding a sniper rifle stood out. He was the one who had fired the shot. I had called the police in advance. Once they confirmed that the bomb couldn't be detonated by the hijacker, the officer decisively took the shot, watching Sam and Jess embracing and crying. I let out a long sigh. Jess, I've helped you save him, repaying you for saving me in the river. I owed you my life, and now I've returned it. From now on, we have no more ties. Her face changed dramatically. She immediately let go of Sam and looked at me. Her voice trembled. You knew. She swallowed and continued. Then before. I interrupted her before she could finish. 999 times. I remember everything, but I don't blame you. I just hope from now on you won't disturb me anymore. These 999 days, I've truly had enough. With that, I prepared to leave. Eating the same bland noodles for 999 days straight, anyone would break. As I turned to leave, Jess got up and grabbed me tightly. Charlie, I'm sorry. I removed her hand and looked at her. You don't need to apologize. You didn't do anything wrong. You saved me and you also killed me. We're even. I've taken all my stuff from the house. The place is yours now. I'm leaving. She shook her head frantically and hugged me tightly. I won't let you go. Don't you want me anymore? Didn't you say you'd marry me? Protect me for a lifetime? Never break up? You're going back on your word. I gently pushed her away and wiped her tears, smiling. But you were the first to go back on your word. Just now you mentioned breaking up. We already broke up. Her sobs immediately stopped. I noticed her face had more wrinkles, and she seemed to have aged 3 or 4 years compared to the first time I remembered her. I finally said, use your ability less from now on. Live a good life with Sam. With that, I turned and left. I was taken back to the station for questioning because I had called the police in advance and provided them with the information, telling them to arrive at a specific time and bring a sniper rifle. They were really curious about where I got my info. I brushed it off with a vague explanation. After all, a life was at stake, and it was because of me that a disaster was averted this time. When I left the station, it was exactly 11:30 p.m. I still had time. I hurriedly drove to a cafe across the street from where the accident had happened earlier that day. I went to the fountain in front of the cafe. In the distance, I saw a woman in a white dress standing there. Her name was Lily, the owner of the cafe. I quickly ran over and pulled her away just in time. The next second, a flower pot fell from above, smashing into the spot where she had just been standing. I looked at the time, 11:51 p.m., just in time, the first time Jess used time rewind and failed to save Sam. We had a huge fight. I was in a bad mood and came to this cafe for a coffee, where I witnessed the owner, Lily, get killed by a flower pot accidentally knocked over by a resident upstairs. The second time, when Jess failed to save Sam again, I tried to come early to see if I could save her, except for the times Jess killed me with a knife. I managed to save her every time. It had become a habit, and she always gratefully offered me a cup of coffee. Each time we chatted for a few minutes, even though the time was short. Our conversations were always chill. She was the only glimmer of hope that kept me going through the 1,000 loops. This time, she smiled at me again. Thanks. Without you, I might have died. Why don't I treat you to a cup of coffee? I glanced at the time, approaching midnight, and smiled, shaking my head. No need, maybe I'll come again next time. After all, eating instant noodles in the morning and having coffee at noon every day, even with the nerves of steel, I couldn't take it anymore. I was still worried that if Jess activated Time Rewind again, we'd go back to this afternoon after 12. Lily didn't say anything, just turned back into the shop, and a few minutes later, handed me a cup of juice. Drink it, it's the last one for today. Since she had offered it, I didn't refuse, but at that moment I wasn't in the mood to drink. I kept staring at the second hand on my watch. 11:59 p.m. Lily leaned over, curious. What are you looking at? As the second hand got closer to 12, my heart raced. If it went back again, what would I do? I was so tired, so very tired. I looked at Lily and said, if I come back next time, remember to get me a Coke. I like Coke. She blinked, as if not understanding what I meant. She really didn't get it, but she still smiled and nodded, even though we don't have Coke in the shop. I'll get it for you next time? With ice? With ice. Just as I finished speaking, it turned to midnight. At that moment, my heart was racing. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Lily noticed me standing there in a daze and pinched my cheek from behind, saying, "What's wrong with you?" I snapped out of it, seeing that nothing around me had changed, and I was overwhelmed with excitement. As long as it was past midnight and into a new day, Time Rewind wouldn't work anymore. Time Rewind could only go back to the same day. I had heard Jess mention this once during one of her rewinds. So even if Jess used it again, it would only revert to today, and she had no reason to use it anymore since she had already saved Sam. I happily gulped down the juice in my hand. It was sweet, much sweeter than coffee. Today would finally not come again. Then, excitedly, I grabbed Lily's shoulders and laughed. I'm not coming back. Not coming back again. Lily frowned and asked, why? Is it that you can't stand me or can't stand my shop, or do you think the juice here is bad? I was stunned for a moment, then smiled apologetically and said, no, it's not that kind of not coming back. It's hard to explain. Anyway, I'll come to your shop often from now on. Just no more coffee, I'm sick of it. I want Coke with ice. Only then did Lily smile again. I hadn't been happy for more than a few minutes when a voice suddenly came from behind me. Charlie, can we talk? Hearing this voice, I froze, then turned to look at Jess. At this moment, she looked utterly desolate, her hair disheveled. I shook my head and said, no, we have no relationship anymore. I've repaid the debt of saving my life. Jess's eyes were red as she looked at me. Charlie, I've always loved you. I saved Sam because we grew up together. He's like my brother. Since we were already at this point, I said, then why didn't you discuss it with me from the beginning? Did you think I wouldn't help you? What reason would I have to stop you from saving a life after so many years together? Don't you know what kind of person I am? Would I stop you from saving someone? Did I not tell you that I trust you? But what did you do? You treated me with harsh words repeatedly and even killed me. Jess kept crying. Charlie, I'm sorry, really sorry. I was wrong. Will you forgive me? Let's start over. I took a deep breath and said, you don't need my forgiveness. Just go. Jess shook her head and tried to hug me, but I dodged. Charlie, I love you. You're the only one I love in this life. I don't want to leave you. Suddenly, someone grabbed my hand. Lily held my arm and then smiled at Jess, saying, Miss, it's not cool to cling on. Please don't harass my boyfriend, okay? Jess was stunned at first, then glared at Lily. Charlie, is this the woman you saved countless times? And now, just one day later, you're together? I nodded, not denying it. At this moment, it was best to let Lily pretend to be my girlfriend to make Jess give up. In Jess's view, it was just one day, but for me, it had been a full 1,000 days. 1,000 days were enough to kill my love for you and make me fall for someone else. Even if you use your ability again, it will only start from the moment I'm with Lily today. Jess laughed loudly. Ha ha ha, Charlie, do you really think you know me? Suddenly I got goosebumps and felt uneasy. Jess laughed again. You are mine, always mine. If you won't be with me, you won't be with anyone else either. Now that you know this woman, you can find her in the near future. But what about 3 years ago, 5 years ago, or even over 10 years ago? My face changed dramatically. Jess's expression turned grim as she looked at me. I have one chance to go back to any timeline, but it comes at a great cost. If I go back 10 years and change the original path, I could tell that woman beside you to never come here or even kill her. What would you do then? I immediately shouted, You wouldn't dare! Ha ha ha, watch me. Jess's whole body began to emit a white light, her hair turning white visibly, and her skin rapidly aging. I was shocked and quickly grabbed Lily, thinking about where I was 10 years ago. Desperately, I shouted, If you remember, come to 36, Qing Street, Cheon City, Jeonnan. Before I could finish, the light blinded me. When I opened my eyes again, it was dusk and the sun was about to set. I looked around. Everything seemed both familiar and strange. I quickly checked myself and found an old-fashioned mobile phone. The date on it made my breath quicken. I was back 10 years ago in my high school years. At this moment, I was still wearing my school uniform. That crazy woman, Jess, had really brought us back 10 years ago, the summer after my college entrance exams. And this was the place where I had grown up. It took me a few days to accept this reality. However, I had no contact with Lily now and had no idea where she was. If Jess wanted to find her and harm her, then at this moment, an elderly woman with white hair, looking like she was in her 70s or 80s, walked toward me with a cane. She looked somewhat familiar. She seemed to be Jess. Due to her old age, Jess bent over and looked at me, speaking with some difficulty. Charlie, do you regret it? You rejected me, and now you won't have that woman either. I wanted to punch her, but with her current age, one punch might kill her. So I restrained myself. Jess, you successfully made me hate you. Jess trembled all over, leaning against the wall, and her cane fell to the ground. Hi, Aro, I'm sorry. I just love you too much. I have a way to go back, but only if you agree to be with me again. Then I can use that ability again. Aro, I'm sorry. I just love you too much. I have a way to go back, but only if you agree to be with me again. Then I can use that ability again. Enough, I roared, my fist stopping just an inch from her face. If it weren't for your current state, I would have definitely punched you. Jess, already unsteady on her feet, was startled and collapsed to the side. A figure appeared and caught Jess, preventing her from falling to the ground. Thanks. Jess was about to thank her, but froze when she saw who it was. WH, why is it you? I was stunned too. The person who came was Lily. After helping Jess stand up, Lily let go of her and looked at me, smiling. You're not the only one who can resist superpowers in this world. Her words made me ecstatic. My mind began to recall the past. Every time I saved Jess, she would offer me a cup of coffee. Until the second to last time, I remember saying to her after finishing my coffee, Turns out, drinking too much coffee can get boring. Fruit juice is better. Then, the last time, she brought me juice. At the time, my mind was preoccupied with the time rewind issue, so I didn't think much of it. I excitedly ran up to Lily and hugged her. After a while, I let go. Lily smiled and said, I just graduated from high school this year. How about you? I smiled back. What a coincidence, so did I. Why don't we apply to the same university? We almost said this sentence at the same time. Then we looked at each other and laughed. I picked up a stick from the ground and handed it to the trembling Jess. Old lady, at your age, you should stay home more. If it weren't for kind young people like us, you wouldn't even have someone to pick up your cane. Ha ha ha, I said. I took Lily's hand and we skipped and ran toward the sunset. I suggested, how about a graduation trip? Sure, where to? Let's go to your cafe 10 years from now. Great, sounds perfect.
I died. So I don't fly jet.
Come on, asshole.
Defensive position is needed on the marked objective.
See if you would have just. Ah, seriously? Actually, that's kind of good that it worked.
Enemy attack is underway on Bravo. We have lost objective Bravo.
Wiener's not protecting me.